Hi, this is No Face Meals, and I'm your host, Marjorie Haynes. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a vegan mayonnaise. Regular mayonnaise, as you know, is made from eggs and oil. It's an infusion, but emulsifation. When you do vegan, you don't do eggs. So, what you need for this recipe, you need 1 package of silken tofu. I have tried this with just regular extra firm. It does come out, it's a little thick. So we're going to try it with the silken this time. You're going to need your lemon juice. It calls for 1/4 teaspoon of salt, but we're going to do Brex because we're low sodium. And this is the best stuff. If you're low sodium, this works in almost every recipe I've ever tried. So it's a good thing. It's savory. I don't know how we do with sweet. And we're going to do mustard. Now I do a mustard powder because we don't eat enough mustard to worry about. So when you keep it in the powder, you don't have to worry about it. Just add it in. This is also an oil-free recipe. So that's nice if you're trying to watch your fat carbs. This is so easy to put together. It honestly is. So you're going to take, and you can see that this tofu, I did try to take it out and you drain it, but just sitting there, it has drained a little bit more. It's silken, so you can't really press it. It just kind of gets all clumpy and it's not pretty. This is probably not going to be pretty to get in there either. So silken tofu is what you use for like a cheesecake or a smoothie, that type of thing, because it's a very soft tofu. And as most people know, I am not a fan of tofu regularly. Not one to put in stir fry or anything like that. But I'll eat it in this. So go figure. That and my cream cheese, I'll eat. So we are going to add my mustard first. This is a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And I'm going to put just a little bit of, probably a 1/2 teaspoon of the dried. Then we're going to do lemon juice. If you have lemons and you want to do fresh lemons juice, go for it. Yeah, you can do it. I don't normally have fresh lemons, so we'll do lemon juice. You need 2 tablespoons. Now this recipe will last up, in your refrigerator for at least a week. The good thing about this recipe, unlike other mayonnaises made from dairy, when it's hot weather out, you can't really leave it out. This has got fermented tofu in it, so it won't spoil in heat as readily as some of your other mayonnaises. I'm going to put probably 1/2 teaspoon. It's probably more like 1/4 teaspoon of Bragg's. And if it's not enough, I'll add a little more. When you have a big jug like that, you really and truly can't measure out without pouring out more than you need. And that's it. Now you could also put different spices in here and make more of a spicy mayonnaise or a ranch mayonnaise. And you can add just about any kind of other spice you'd like to, but this is just your main spice. It also calls for a 1/2 teaspoon of agave or maple syrup if you want it a little bit on the sweeter side. I mean, if you're going to be doing like coleslaw, you may want to do it, might want to add it, but if you're adding, if you're going to do something savory like a chickpea salad, you don't really want it sweet. And then you just process. That's perfect. This will also firm up a little bit in your refrigerator. So it looks a little thin now, but it will firm up a little bit in your refrigerator. And there you have it. Vegan mayonnaise. Welcome, this is No Face Meals. I'm your host, Marjorie Haynes. Today we're going to make a chickpea chicken salad. It's vegan and I'm using my homemade tofu mayonnaise. So in here I have probably half a large onion, because meat and chicken salad for me it has to have onion. It just does. Big fan of. You want it says a tablespoon of fresh dill. I don't have fresh, I have dried, and that's fine. So I'm going to add just a little bit less, probably more like 3/4 of a tablespoon of dill. You're also going to use mustard, and I don't usually have a mustard in my refrigerator because we don't use a lot of it. So it says we're going to probably do just about a teaspoon. And it says you need a fourth of a teaspoon of salt, which, you know, we're going to do Bragg's. I should be their spokesperson. And that's what we're going to start with, because Bragg's is very powerful. You don't want to use too much. So start off using just a little, and then if you need more, you can always adjust it. We're going to use some ground pepper, and we're just going to use a little bit, like 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's probably a little more than 1/8 of a teaspoon, but we like pepper. We're good with that. Like I said, you have to adjust all these spices to taste. This is 1 can of rinsed chickpeas. Okay, I suggest you buy them this way because chickpeas are terribly hard to cook, even with a Instapot or a pressure cooker. It takes a long time to actually cook them because they're so hard. But if you buy them canned and rinse them, you're good. I just got done making mayonnaise, so we're going to use the same process because we're going to put my mayonnaise in there. The onions that are in here are sauteed. You don't have to if you can eat raw onions. I just can't. I don't process raw onion very well, so I go ahead and saute mine. So it's probably a half a large onion sauteed. And if you don't have a large one, you only have a medium one, you know, just put the medium one in there. If you don't like that much onion, you know, you can adjust it to your taste. Now we're going to pulse this. That's good. Okay, this is going to mimic chicken salad, you know, your chicken. So in this bowl, we'll put this in. Smells great, guys. Guess what we're having for lunch? I know some people put relish in their chicken salad. That's perfectly okay. You can do that too. That's what I like about some of the most of these recipes that I do. They're so customizable. You know, you don't like that much mayonnaise, don't put it in. If you want more, you know, if you like more mayonnaise, put it in. You know, look at that. Now, who wouldn't want this in a wrap on crackers? And it's so good for you. Chickpeas they're a great source of protein. That's good. I think that's all we need with that. There you go. That is your chickpea chicken salad. Hello, this is No Face Meals. I'm your host, Marjorie Haynes. Today we're going to do some pulled wannabe pork sandwiches, okay? And it's vegan, so what I'm using instead of pork is jackfruit. Jackfruit's been used for, you know, thousands of years over in Indonesia. You can actually get fresh and process it. It's a whole lot of jackfruit when you get it fresh because the fruits are this big around. I buy mine canned and then I rinse them. Is what I rinse it. That's what I do. I do like it this way because the core has been already cut out of it, you know, and it's in these handy dandy slices. This is going to shred just like pork would do. So in this pan, I have about half of an extra large onion. I like onion. Hey, you know, some people don't, and that's fine. I've rinsed my jackfruit, and you can shred this by hand if you want, and you're actually probably going to get some little seeds, and they say take those out. I'm like, leave them in. You know, it's all good, people. It's all good. This has got to cook down for about half an hour once I get my pan to temperature here. You see, for this, I got Mama's handy dandy cast iron skillet. Got this from my mama, who got it from her mama. So there's lots of things that's been through this cast iron skillet. So I've got this on high, and we're waiting for it to start doing its thing. You basically are going to barbecue it just like you would any other barbecue. This here's what jackfruit looks like in the can. You know, one can will make at least four nice big sandwiches. If you have more, you know, more folks coming over for your barbecue than that, then you might want to use a couple. You can get jackfruit, like I said, if you're lucky enough to have like a Whole Foods or an Asian store, you could probably get the fresh jackfruit. We don't have one of those, and so I resorted to having to order from the big box store, the big A store. How much barbecue sauce should you use? Well, depends on how much you like. I probably am going to use at least a good cup, maybe even a cup and a half. So there we go. Now nobody has to say that you can't put a little bit more of it in there. And you might even have to add a little water if it's so it don't stick and it gets thick on you. So I added about a cup and a half of barbecue sauce, and then I'm going to put just probably a cup of ketchup. And you're going to bring this up to like a simmer, and you're going to simmer this for about a half hour. As it simmers and gets tender, it's going to break up. Those lumps are going to start shredding. First time I did this, I was a little worried about it because I was like, you know, they're just big lumps. But by the end of the half hour, yeah, it was good. It was shredded. Okay. And you can hurry it along a little bit. And if it doesn't look like it's going to shred the way you want it to, you can always take 2 forks and shred it. We're going to let this cook for about half an hour, and when we come back, I'll plate it up and see all the deliciousness. Hi, welcome back to No Face Meals. Our jackfruit pulled wannabe pork is done. That's barbecue. Jackfruit. As you can see, it's a large amount. Smells like barbecue pork. The only reason why you're not going to be able to know is because number 1, you made it, and number 2, there's no oil in this. It's very low calorie. Look at that. Whoop. Look at that. Isn't that luscious or what? Don't look like salad to me, and it's vegan. One thing I do want to mention about the jackfruit is you want to get, if you're going to get canned, get the young green, immature. It'll say young, like it'll say young jackfruit. If you get the mature, it's going to be sweet. And that's not what you're wanting for this application. So make sure you get, if you're getting a can, get it young jackfruit. And I like to get it in water, but if you can't get it in water, you can always get it in brine and take it and rinse it off anyway. Anyway, it's time for lunch. So that's all the time we have for No Face Meals. I'm your host, Marjorie Haynes. No Face Meals, where the food are the stars. Today I'm going to show you how to make kale chips. You want to start off with a bunch of kale. Okay, you want to rinse your kale, and then you want to remove the stem. So you're basically just going to take, this is what you're looking for, is this for your chips. But you don't want this big woody stem through it. So you just rip it off, because you want these to be, you know, chip size. You can do this with our bagged kale if you want. They may just be smaller chips. And while you're doing this, you want to set your oven on 400 to preheat, because these go right in the oven. I haven't played with them in the dehydrator yet. We'll have to see how that goes. You can also save your stems, because they make great additions to your smoothies. They make you can make it, you throw them in your stock, you know, when you're making stock soup. Good for that. It's just really good. So I'm making these cheesy. So you need 1/3 cup of nutritional yeast, which is like my superfood. If you want something to taste like cheese, but you don't want to actually put cheese in it, this is what you do. So it says 1/3 cup. And put in our onion powder. It says 1/4 teaspoon. I go about 1/2. I put in about 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. It says 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, which y'all know I don't do sea salt. I don't do salt. I do Bragg's amino acids. It is got all kinds of amino acids in it. It's very low sodium. You can use it in place of your soy sauce. It's vegan, so you know you don't have to worry about that. People who are on a low sodium diet, this is my go-to right here. I use this in just about everything that I do. Okay, we won't put in. I'm gonna put in a good teaspoon. Maybe just a hair more. You need 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. You're going to put in, it says olive oil. Y'all know me. You know what my favorite choice for oil is avocado. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of the avocado oil. Now you mix this up. You want to make sure you get all that mixed in there, because you're going to put all that kale in all this seasoning. And this is what it looks like. Then, what we're going to do, we're going to take all this kale, and if you want smaller chips, you can just tear it. Because what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to massage all this goodness in here. Is you want to take the cookie sheet, you won't spray it so it don't stick. And then you're going to lay them out. it's a big one. Let's cut him up a little bit. I like big chips. Once you get this done and you get it all on your cookie sheets, you're going to put it in your oven that's been preheating at 400. Then you're going to cook these. You're going to bake these. It's probably too much on that one. You're going to go ahead and you're going to bake these at 400, 6 to 8 minutes, okay? 6 to 8 minutes. Watch them. This is not something you can just walk away. You have to watch it because mine were done last time at 6. You're looking for crunchy. So when you pick one up and you bite into it, it should crunch. But they go from almost done to burnt in like no time. So you really have to keep an eye on it. So I'm going to put these in the oven. I'm going to do these other trays and I'm going to put these in the oven. And then I'll come back and show you the finished product. Here's our finished product. These took about 7 to 8 minutes in the oven, 400-degree oven. So anyway, I have my snack. So that's all the time we have for No Face Meals. I'm RG Haynes. I'm your host, and this is No Face Meals, where the food are the stars.